Hi everyone, my name is Ross the Alcheminiaturist, and today is going to be a little bit different of a video. Most times with my videos, they're scripted, they're thought out, they are methodical. This one is not really any of those. A couple weeks ago, I went to my local game store for a bit swap, and I bought a corpse cart. The price doesn't really matter, but in the package that I got were a couple other models, and one of them was this guy. A Warhammer Fantasy Battle Bretonnian Knight Peasant Archer. With the old world coming back and now here, you can get those kind of really whenever you want. But this one is a little bit different, a little bit more special, and I'm going to go into that. See, when I started Warhammer, oh god, about, I would say 24 years ago or so, I didn't know what I was doing. The first time I ever laid eyes on a Warhammer model, I was at my friend Matt's house with another one of our friends named Matt. We were playing this weird sort of like pseudo army men. It was like a one-hit kill. One Matt had Bretonnian Knights and the other Matt had the Lizard Men. Because Matt number one had gotten the 3rd edition box set for his birthday, and he didn't really know what to do, and he super glued them together, and he had knights, and he had archers, and he had saurus, and he had skinks, and they were amazing. I remember looking at them and being enthralled. And I went home that day, and I told my parents about it, and my parents went about looking for it, and looking to see where they could get it. I didn't really see too much of Matt and Matt. They were in a different class in elementary school, and even though I lived close to both of them, they were more friends with each other than they were with me, and so hanging out with them was a rarity. And so Warhammer faded a bit into obscurity. Until my birthday, until I turned 11 or so, and my dad took me to a Warhammer 40k tournament to pick up the 3rd edition box set and the Winds of Magic box set. He had gotten them both as a deal. The Winds of Magic was a promotional set. The other thing that I remember of that day is I snapped the gun off of an Eldar that the guy that my dad was buying the stuff off of brought in, and I felt terrible. I still feel terrible. And in the off chance that you see this and you remember a little boy 22-ish years ago who accidentally snapped the gun off an Eldar tank in Saskatoon, I'm sorry. Again, I know I said it many times back then, but I'm sorry. It still weighs on my mind every time I play a person who has Eldar or I take a look at Eldar. But that's not where I'm going with this. Where I'm going with this is I had it. I had the box set, and I set about building it. There were instructions, and I had a grand time. Now, it is no secret, I've said it many times on my stream, and I believe I've also said it in videos, I have a mother who is from England, and so about once every 2 years when I was younger, we would go to England and visit all of my family, and that next trip, my mom took me to Warhammer World, and at Warhammer World, I picked up the Metal Slan, and I picked up the king. I can't remember his name because I was so young that I didn't really care. It was the king on Hippogriff, and it was so cool. And we ate at Bugman's Bar, and we took a tour around basically all of Warhammer World, and they showed all of these amazingly painted miniatures and dioramas, and they had the map of the old world there, and they were talking about like the influences of Earth on there, like where the Empire, what they would be, and Bretonnia, what that would be, and where the rest of them would be. And because we had nothing really else to do that day, my mom kind of had blocked the whole day off for Warhammer World. I got a lesson on how to paint. Now, this was, like I said, 20 odd years ago, and I'm never going to stop saying it was 20 odd years ago. But I remember still how happy I was that this employee, was willing to take the half an hour or so that it was to paint this model. Now, as you've noticed, I'm now down in the corner and there's been no cuts because this is a longer-ish, completely less edited video where I am just talking and then I'm in the corner and now you're seeing it painted. And I'm painting it the way that I remember painting it back then. And the crazy thing about this, and the reason why I'm making this video, is that model that I'm painting right now is the same model that I painted 22 years ago. I have no idea where all of the models went. I believe they unfortunately made their way into somebody else's hands when I wasn't at home one time when I was living not on my own but with other people, and it sucks, but you know, I'm now an adult with access to adult money and the old world is back, which means that you can probably bet good money that I'm going to be picking up at least the models that I used to have and have a little, you know, here you go, young me. I didn't know what I was doing back then, but I do now, and, well, I would say, hey, look at, I used my airbrush and put AK white primer in, and I can say that because I know that that's what I'm going to do, because AK white primer is right here, so, and that's what I'm going to be using for it, but the rest of the colors are just going to be on the screen over to my left, or left, to the left, you know what I mean. Like I said, this is not edited. Everything, all the ahs, ims, and scratches, face are going to be in there. But I kind of wanted to take a video and just say, if it wasn't for that employee at Warhammer World all those years ago, I don't think I would be here now. When COVID hit, and just before COVID hit, I got back into Warhammer. Started with Skaven for Age of Sigmar and Tyranids for 40k. And I remember being sad because I went to go get Bretonnian Knights. And lo and behold, oh, sorry, Bretonnian Knights aren't in Age of Sigmar. What do you mean you don't know what Age of Sigmar is? What do you mean that the last time that you remember anything? It was 3rd edition fantasy. That was a long time ago. And so I had to play catch up, and COVID hit. And I found myself with a lot of time and a lot of boredom. Boredom's the wrong word. I have kids. I found myself with energy that I didn't have before because I wasn't going out of the house to work. I was working from home most of the time. My kids were good. My kids are older, so that they would be a little bit more self-sufficient in the afternoon, evenings than needing 24 hours a day supervision. So I was able to start painting again. And I started looking for Bretonnian Knights models, and boy were those models expensive compared to the models now. So I put it on the back burner, and I did Skaven, and I did Tyranids, and I did Death Guard, and as you've seen, I have done Chaos Space Marines. I transitioned into Turnip 28, which I would like to say thank you very much to the Turnip 28 community for really enjoying those videos that I've done. And without that, actually, I'm going to back up. And then we moved. We moved to, and I've been honest about this, I live in Edmonton. It's 1 million people, don't come find me. But for purposes of this, it makes sense. We moved to Edmonton, and we moved close to a game store. And the first thing that I did when I was here was go to the game store. And because I live so close to the game store, I went to the game store. And I went to the game store. And I went and I now know all of them on a first name basis. And they know me on a first name basis, which is crazy. Because I don't think I would have gotten back into this hobby had it not been for that experience at Warhammer World, or that employee whose name and face are lost to the sands of time, but I would honestly attribute him, my parents, and Matthew number 1. He was the older, yeah, he was the older one, so it would be Matthew number 1. As like the first people to really get me into this hobby, and so this video is really just a thank you to them, and it goes to show that you never know what is going to... I don't have like an actual message with this. I kind of wanted to just say that I guess I saw this model when I opened that container and went, oh my god, it's the model. It's the model. It's the model that I can't get out of my brain. It's the model that I have been looking for without really knowing I was looking for it. It's the model that really showed me what to do, what painting steps to take, what was a base, how to do, you know, the green on the actual base, and make a face, paint a proper face on there. And it's crazy how that has impacted everything. I mean, I guess you could say this video wouldn't be without them, this channel wouldn't be without them. I mean, you can see that there's models down here. It wouldn't be without them either. So, yeah, you never know where life is going to take you. And I really, really love this hobby, and I think it's fantastic. And I don't even know how to end this properly. I usually go, you know, well, here is the beginning, here is the middle, and here is the end, and here is the conclusion. And so I think I'm just going to end it by saying, thank you very much for listening to a little bit of like paint with me, paint my life, my story in 10 minutes or so of me randomly rambling. And as you can see, here is the lovely little turntable. And if you liked what you heard and saw for some random reason, or you're watching this as an intro or a second video, please let me know what got you into the hobby. What was the thing? What was the canon event that pushed you into this hobby? And if you want to see more videos and the ridiculous, crazy things that I do, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. I mean, you hear it from everybody. I'm just gonna, you know, say thank you very much for listening to me, and